We have volume 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I believe we have volume 1, 1. Oh, 1, 1, 1. Yes. Okay. We're good. We're good. Last one I did, we had new volume. I've done that before. So I have to be ready now to look at the volume level there and be okay. We're good. So let's do this. It was almost like a rehearsal, the last one. So let's try again. So we will look here. So the Los Angeles Rams unfortunately lost, but they fought and they stayed. I thought contenders. The Cincinnati Bengals did not look great, to be honest. They were better than before. It was their first win. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you show up, and they showed up. Joe Burrow looked to me like his right calf was still very injured. And I think he's just putting a very brave face. Matthew Stafford, he did not have time to make the decisions. He scrambled, he did his best. He got nailed a couple times, really bad. He will not last a year if that keeps happening. Jamar Chase did phenomenal. That was probably his best game that we've seen so far. Tutu Atwell, unbelievable for the Rams. He's a wide receiver, incredibly gifted. I don't know a lot about him. I'm going to study more in the next week or so, but incredible. Jamar Chase is looking more like himself. He didn't look confident. They didn't look like they were synced or working well. You could almost sense a little bit of animosity maybe going on within the organization. Joe Mixon looked well. He looked well. He didn't look stellar, but he looked well. So that was an entertaining game. There was fumbles on both sides. A lot of sacks. Karen Williams. So, they're going to have to get better. Aaron Donald only recorded a QB hit against the San Francisco 49ers. But he got to Joe Burrow. Puka Nakua, they kind of held him. He didn't have great production. So that was probably his worst game. So the next best game that I enjoyed for me, which was yesterday, we had Monday Night Football. I really enjoyed watching Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay, considering it was raining, they were clearly the underdogs. Baker Mayfield did fairly well. You could tell he was insanely frustrated. Insanely frustrated. They were on him. And it just goes to show you that right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are staying in these games because of the power of their defense. They're mighty. That's why they're a top tiered team. Where even to be competitive, right? Tampa Bay to be competitive is a victory. And I want them to maybe look at it as, you know what? We did incredibly well with the roster we have. We were definitely outplayed in some ways. There was a little bit of bad luck because of all the rain. Again, there was a very strong running game from DeAndre Swift, and he had over 100 yards, but he makes it look easy. And he's one of the few backs right now that I think is dialed in and doing well. Hurts, on the other hand, looked good and then looked sloppy and didn't seem focused to me. But he had flu-like symptoms before the game, so we have to be aware of that. We'll say that. He finished 23 of 37 passes for 277 yards, which is pretty phenomenal. The defense generated a pair of takeaways, and the Eagles' ground game rushed for 201 yards against a run defense. Wide receiver A.J. Brown had an outstanding game for him. I think it was probably his best game that I've seen. He had 131 yards. It says here, Hurts and the Eagles still haven't played their best game yet, their best ball. And you know what? That's fine. You don't want to peak right now, anyways. And I think they have all the pieces. And if they can stay healthy, and that's all the teams, right? I think it's going to be a messy, messy season. We're already seeing signs of so many quarterbacks injured. That people are expecting a lot within the first 3 games. It's still a long road. We're not even halfway. I think Minnesota will bounce back. There's rumors, and I don't know if they're real, but people want Kirk Cousins to go to the New York Jets. I think that would be a phenomenal acquisition. And I think it was spearheaded by Aaron Rodgers. I think he's the one shooting that out there. Pivotal plays by Jalen Carter and Sidney Brown. Both provided big-time plays on defense in critical moments. And that's the thing, right? That's the difference between teams that win and teams that don't. You're in the fourth quarter, you're down 7, you find a way to tie it out, right? And we're also seeing already times when, we're going into overtime and people fall asleep in overtime. Even though they win the coin toss, that they're out in 3. You can't be out in 3, right? You can't do 3 plays and give the ball to the other team. You're done. Because many teams will capitalize. So I don't know if you can teach that killer instinct to certain people. Mike Evans had a good game, but they were all over him. They were double teaming him. I find too that the really incredibly gifted, well conditioned players do phenomenal in the fourth quarter. So the next game, we'll see how things go, right? We'll see how things go. We're coming into the fourth game. Yeah, it says here Baker Mayfield and his receivers struggled all night. Well, that was one reason. Philadelphia is on you, right? They have, I think, if not the best defense, the second best defense. And certain nights or certain weeks have the best defense. So I feel bad for Baker Mayfield, but they're still 2-1. And the Philadelphia Eagles have decided that they like 3-0, and good for them. And maybe with a little luck, it'll be 4-0 next week. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all your support and kindness. Please, kind souls out there, if you can, do a like. Helps the algorithm. Please leave a comment. If you don't agree with the things I'm saying, please speak up and give me your 2 cents. I would love that. And I'm going to try to do smaller segment videos because then I can share them easy across the different spectrums. Thank you so much. Peace. Be kind.